Hi, my name is Jeremy, and in this video we will make an analysis of a short story, and in this case it's going to be The Selfish Giant by Oscar Wilde. The setting of this story will happen every other afternoon in the giant's garden. The point of view or point of narration of the story will occur in an omniscient perspective. This means that it will be narrated from a third-person perspective. The first characters of this story will be the giant, who is very selfish and self-centered, the children, which are very happy, full of joy, and very proactive, and the little boy the giant loved, which is very compassionate and emotional. The second characters of this story will feature the winter and its forces, which are the hail and the wind, the spring, the autumn, the branching tree, and the Cornish oak. The story describes a very egocentric and self-obsessed giant who raises a dispute with a group of happily playing kids just because they were using his blossoming and full of spring garden as a playground while he was out visiting a friend, which is the Cornish oak. One day, once he came back from his visit to his friend, he angered at the kids because they were rejoicing in the garden, and he bitterly screamed at them to get out, remarking them that he and only he could enjoy his garden. To this situation, he decided to build a whole wall around the garden, which caused the seasons to never return except for the winter and its forces. The winter impacted the garden so strongly, it made the giant regret each and every minute he decided that the kids weren't there. One day, the children snuck back into the garden, and they freaked out when the giant came out, especially one little kid who was trying to jump in a branching tree. Nonetheless, this time around, the giant wanted to apologize with the children for his past self-centered behavior. The kid was very nervous when he saw the giant coming out to the garden. However, this time around, the giant grabbed the kid, put it in the palm of his hand, and wiped up his tears. In reward, this kid kissed the giant. They played and played the whole day, and while they were playing, the kid who kissed the giant suddenly disappeared. He asked to the other kids, but no one knew him. They never saw each other until the day the winter came back. Once the winter came back, the giant did not hate it anymore. And looking at the garden one day, he saw the kid just staying there, hurt but smiling. The giant jumped from the window of his house and went to the kid who was there in the garden. The kid was hurt, was presenting wounds, and the giant was very furious and angered to see his friend hurting. He questioned the kid about the injury and said, "Who did this to you? Show me so I can stab them with this sword." However, the kid responded to that those wounds in his hands were made of pure love, and in remuneration from letting him play in his garden, he can now come to paradise with him. The giant went with the kid to his paradise. Then one day, the other kids came back to visit and found the giant dead in the garden. From a very humanistic point of view, the message of the story can be purely based into the acts of sharing and charity, which are very important. As we know that selfishness can retain us from having a broad approach to other people and seeing the positive side of stuff. If we look at it from a religious point of view, or if we look at it from the biography of the author, which was Oscar Wilde, if we take a look to this story, we can identify personification of very religious background. For example, the giant's garden can be referenced to Eden's garden, or these children who are happily playing in the garden can make allusion to Matthew 19:14 that says, "Let the children come to me and do not stop them, for it is to such that the kingdom of heaven belongs." And lastly, this wonder kid can represent a clear vision of Jesus Christ. To my words, no garden is beautiful if it isn't seen by others. We must let others enjoy our happiness and disparate ourselves from maintaining all of the things that we have closed and bordered. That's how the winter freezes our hearts and kills our soul. We must find that little kid within ourselves and our cycle and sympathize every single day to him. And that's how we found paradise. Thank you very much for paying attention to my video. I'm extremely sorry and I do apologize for all of the noises that you're around. This video itself was a put in practice to all of the things that I learned from this story.